Given Mamdani's recent primary win in New York, I have new hope for Democratic candidates who are much farther to the left than current party leadership. And I'd like to talk about a Texas Democrat who might just be the key we need to fighting the Christian nationalist element within the MAGA movement. Although he has had a couple of viral moments, unless you live in Texas, it's likely that you've never heard of him. State Representative James Talarico is a teacher, a pastor, and a progressive, and he's considering a run for John Cornyn's Senate seat in 2026. While Republicans misquote scripture to justify cruelty, Talarico uses the teachings of Jesus to advocate for progressive policies. He's a working-class, straight, white Christian man who looks like he walked straight out of a 1950s sitcom. And because of that, MAGA's usual methods of attack simply do not work with him. Talarico is excellent on camera. He's a strong public speaker. His method of interacting with Republican politicians is pastoral rather than confrontational, which tends to make his opponents look foolish if they attempt to deploy their usual methods. Imagine Mr. Rogers and Marjorie Taylor Greene having a debate on the morals of deporting immigrants to CICAT in El Salvador. Let me talk specifically about his policies so that you know exactly what he stands for. He is fully pro-choice. Yes, a pro-choice pastor. He is fully supportive of the LGBTQ plus community and has taken a strong stance against the anti-LGBTQ plus element of Republicans in Texas's Congress. He is fully supportive of DEI and racial and social justice. He is fully supportive of immigrants. He takes a biblical approach in line with Jesus's teachings. In other words, it is his belief that we should treat immigrants as our neighbors, regardless of their legal status. He also supports health care as a basic human right in a state which has the highest rate of uninsured in the nation. Now, I mentioned earlier that he is considering a Senate run in 2026. There has also been discussion about him potentially making a run for governor in 2026. And regardless of which seat he runs for, this is someone who not just Texans, but Americans in every state should support. Given his basic beliefs, it is highly likely that Talarico is not going to be willing to accept any kind of donations from lobbying firms, corporate donors, or billionaires. And it's also highly likely that the Democratic Party apparatus is not going to want him as the Democratic candidate for either the Senate seat or the governor's role. So in order for him to succeed, he's going to need to rely upon small donors like you and I, similar to AOC. If you like what you've heard about him so far, please follow him here on TikTok. Google him, go out to his website, and donate if you can. I think at a national level, we have a great opposition team forming with AOC, with Bernie Sanders, with Jasmine Crockett, with Gavin Newsom, with J.B. Pritzker, with Pete Buttigieg. But the one element that this opposition team is missing is someone who can counter the Christian nationalist element, who can go up against the Heritage Foundation. And that person is James Talarico. He is a pastor. He has the spiritual authority, and he knows his Bible better than any Republican politician out there, I can guarantee you. Talarico is only 36. This is not someone I envision being on a presidential ticket in 2028, but he needs to be on the support team campaigning for whoever is on that presidential ticket. And in order to get him on that team, we need to elevate him to national prominence. He needs a higher level role, either as one of Texas's 2 senators or as Texas's governor. This will give him the necessary platform to enable him to command a national audience and to bring him to prominence such that he is invited to speak to mainstream media outlets. I know that many of us are not willing to donate to the Democratic Party any longer, given its behavior. But if you're like me, you are willing to donate to specific candidates. And this is one that I really think is important, not just to people in Texas, but to people outside of Texas. So if you're looking for candidates to back, this is somebody that I think that you should put on your list.